So I thought I would tell you why I became a Beachbody coach and what it's done for me. So about 5 years ago, my husband was laid off from his job. It was a really good paying job. We were doing well, and I was very pregnant with my son at the time. So about 2 weeks before my due date, he was laid off and my health insurance was cut off. We were just freaking out. So my husband looked for a job every single day, all day. He put so much time and effort, pretty much blood, sweat, and tears. And the job market in New Jersey was really bad at the time. He would ask friends if they had any openings where they were. He was willing to take anything at that point because we had a newborn and I couldn't go to work because if I did, I would have to, pay for childcare, and it just wouldn't make any sense. So this happened for about a year, and unemployment finally, stopped paying. And, unemployment only gives so much. So at that point, we went through all of our options and we had to rely on government assistance. And it was the lowest point in my life, without a doubt. It really caused a lot of problems in my marriage. I was stressed out all the time, constantly worried about money. I was just a nervous wreck. I was on WIC. We had to get food stamps. And once a month, my grandmother would come over and take us grocery shopping. And we basically relied on those two means so we could survive. It was really, really bad. And I was just negative. I was negative, I was miserable, I was depressed, I was stressed out, we had no money. We had to penny pinch. Like, when I tell you that I couldn't spare $2, I literally could not spare $2. I remember I was out with my son and we were on our way back from the grocery store, and I had to stop at the gas station, and I opened up my wallet and I had 2 singles. And it was barely enough to get me home. And he wasn't old enough at the time to understand, but it didn't matter. Knowing that I had to do something like that in front of him just crushed me. So that's pretty much where I started when I knew that I needed to make a change in my life. I couldn't sit around anymore and worry about money. I couldn't sit around and, hate the world and hate my life and hate myself and hate my husband because I feel like he was failing me and he didn't even do anything wrong. But that's, that's where my negative mentality was at the time. I just blamed everybody and everything for all the crap that was going on in my life. So that's where I was at the time when I just really knew that I needed to make a change. So I'm a very real person. I'm an open book. I also wanted to share with you why I became a coach as far as the health and fitness aspect, not just financial. So ever since I was little, I've struggled with self-image issues. I struggled with insecurity. I was always compared to someone else. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not skinny enough. I heard it from my parents. They would, make comments about my outfits and how I dressed, and my doctor when I was little used to pull on my rolls and call me fat, and things like that really affect you as a kid, and I never really shook it as a teenager. So it followed me through high school, and when I was 15 years old, I decided, well, I guess I'm just gonna stop eating so I can be skinny like everybody else, and I did. I lost a lot of weight, and I was really happy. I was really happy because all I wanted was to be skinny. It's sad, and I didn't know any better. I kept it to myself. Not a single person in my life knew. My parents had no idea. I was living in their house and they had no idea. I went to college and I started to binge eat and exercise compulsively. I would eat a cookie and then I would run 5 miles just to make up for that. And it was very unhealthy. And these patterns came and went for about, I would say, 13 years on and off. I would starve, or I would binge and I would purge, and it was terrible. It was killing my self-esteem and it was ruining my body. to say the very least. And it wasn't helping. It wasn't helping. I was skinny when I was skinny, but I hated myself still. So what was the point? You know, I was destroying myself to get this happiness that didn't exist because I was looking for it from an outside source instead of realizing that happiness has to come, you know, from within. I remember going on Instagram one day and I hashtagged abs because I wanted to torture myself. I wanted to see what out there can I not have? What else is there in the world that I cannot have? So I stumbled upon a before and after picture of this really pretty girl. She was brunette. She looked really down to earth, and I was like, oh, wow, she looks really good. So I stalked her page a little bit, and it was a lot of fitness, a lot of food, but like healthy looking food, but very intriguing. It wasn't just like, you know, salads like a lot of people think you have to eat to be healthy. She posted a lot of before and afters, but it wasn't like huge, tremendous weight loss. It was, you know, it was minimal, but it was really attention grabbing because you could tell that she really enjoyed what she was doing and she was really working hard to get the body that she wanted. And I was like, what is this girl about? So I commented on her pictures. I asked her like what she was doing, how did she do that? I pretty much asked her, how can I do that? How can I do what you do? And she introduced me to Beachbody. And I mean, it's a very long story, but that's how I met my coach. I found her by accident on Instagram. And I know that if I had never met her, and she never introduced me to Beachbody, I don't know where I would be now. It has changed my life in so many ways. I've just never felt more grateful and more appreciative of, makeup burning in my eyes, of the life that I'm given and the opportunities that I'm given to pay it forward and to help other people just really learn to love themselves, because I know what it feels like to hate yourself. I know what it feels like to be insecure and to feel like you suck at everything. And Beachbody has just given me my life back in so many ways. I don't hate myself anymore, and that sounds so simple, but it's so big. I'm contributing financially for the first time in years. I remember my son's first birthday. We didn't have any money to buy him a birthday present because our bank account was at like $30. And I was just able to buy my son a brand new bedroom set from the money that I paid from Beachbody, just by helping other people change their lives. So I'm forever grateful, and that's just, you know, 10% of what being a Beachbody coach has done for me.